Going on? It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? I appreciate you guys being here. Today is Monday. It is August 4th. We are getting closer and closer to the college football season. In fact, we're in it. All right, let's just face it. Let's appreciate it. We worked a long time to get to August. All right, so I know it's Monday. You might have a little case of the Mondays. Don't. I got the energy you need. The show's going to be a banger, as it always is. I appreciate it if you guys kicked it with me last night on Sunday. And we're going to do this leading up to the football season, all right? So today on the show, this morning, I'll kick it off with the Freaks list from Bruce Feldman. He pointed out for the first time ever, he has 3 players from the same team, which you can see on the screen right now, all right? I'm going to talk about the fall camp injury report, which is minuscule, thank goodness, after 4 practices. Camp risers on offense and defense. We're going to look at the second team offensive line, which I think is very important. I'm going to actually mention 2 camp risers out of Florida State. One name that is familiar from Alabama. Takeaways after 4 practices. The team does not have practice today. There's actually a media day opportunity. We'll hear, players and, some guys will interact with the fans today. So no practice today. They'll pick up on Tuesday. So we'll also hear from Coach Kane Womack today. We'll do our normal heel talk. I'll provide a little context if needed, and we'll have a good time on the show. All right. So I appreciate you guys being here. Remember, Wednesday, you got the raffle. We will spin the pinwheel come hell or high water on Wednesday, all right? 2 tickets is what you could win for Alabama versus Wisconsin. All right, $25 to get in. You can get in as many times as you'd like. Saturday, September 13th at Bryant-Denny Stadium, 11 a.m. Bryant-Denny Stadium. I'll send you the tickets the day before, all right? This is a value of $543. So get in before it's too late. Wednesday, we will spin the pinwheel, all right? And Joe Crooms and Southern Red, I don't know if I've seen you guys this morning, but keep your heads on a swivel. You should be getting an email today from me today. Raffles going out, all right? So, and I know Patriot Life just got, Patriot Life, I don't know if Patriot Life's in here, but I know he just got his Ty Simpson jersey. That was a good score that he got. I like doing the game jerseys. The game jerseys are tight. We probably do that on our next raffle. All right, so good morning to everybody. Let me see who's here real quick. We got Max always checking in. What's up, man? Good to see you. Young Seat Gaming. Alyssa, what's up? Good morning to you. Ruben Poole, what's up, man? Yo, you know what? I like this. I saw Ruben posted this, I guess, in the comment box, and he said, you know what? The only suitable nickname for Rico is Rico Suave. Remember? Rico Suave. Who remembers that? Rico Suave. You didn't think I could roll my R's like that, did you? Rico. Ruben Poole, what's up, dog? Good to see you, man. Alabama's biggest fan. Good to see you up in the house. Steve Taylor. Alabama's biggest fan. Max Tooney, my boy. Seth Mitchell. Coach Smith, what's up, dog? Good to see you, man. Joe Crooms, keep your head on the swivel, dog. Like I told you, got an email coming your way. Anita, what's up? I see you, Anita. Robert Bradley Jr. Man, it's good to see you up in the house. Kaylin Childress, strong supporter. Let's see. Kaylin D-Boss. What's up, dog? Good to see you, man. Bibbs. What's up, man? We got Patriot Live in with a super already shooting from the other side of the court with a 25 banger, man. Micah, what's up? Good morning, bro. Anna, what's up? So Anna, if there's any other music head on here, it's Anna, 100%. She's got the beats. Anytime that I go retro, Anna's up in here. God's best believer? Hell yeah, that's the way to start out Monday. Man, we've had some spiritual leaders jump on board. I'm not mad about that, all right? Dad Caraway, I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy, it hurts. Patriot Life, man. Good to see you, dog. I appreciate you so much, man. Coming through with the $25 super chat this morning, man. That's the way to start it. And Gary Wise is saying, what's up? And Marcus is here too? Marcus, man, what's up, dog? All right. So did you guys see this? All right, this is from Bruce Feldman. So every year he puts out like this freaks list. And what the freaks list is it's guys that are absolutely just, incredible specimens, right? Like 6'7", 350-pound type guys who are just, dominated. Like they run a fast 40 time. They can jump over a mountain, this and that. So Bruce Feldman has 3 particular guys from Alabama for the first time ever, okay, that are from Alabama. And you can read the article. You just type in Bruce Feldman's freak list. But to kind of high point it, these are the kind of, the points that stand out from Alabama and the 3 guys mentioned, all right? So starting on the left to the right, you got Caden Proctor, 6'7", 366 pounds, right? We already know he's gigantic, but he has an 815-pound squat, and he bench presses 535. That'll get you on the freaks list, all right? Parker Brailsford, 6'2", 290 pounds, 675, and 505, okay, which is the New Mexico area code, by the way, all right? You also got 575, which is kind of lower New Mexico. And then you got Jaden Roberts, 6'5", 327 pounds, who's squatting, I think, a school record, to my understanding, which is 905 and then 525 for bench. Right? Do we have anybody? No, I'm serious. Listen up. Do we have any 400-pound squatters in here? Does anybody inside the comment box, even if you're watching on the rewatch, Patriot Life, my goodness, man. He hit us with 5 fan funderships too. So thank Patriot Life. So if you get one, Ebony, you got one, Calvin, you got one, D Bama Swag, and Jamie Andrew and Jamal Scott. Ebony Carter, stick around because I have something to say here in a minute about my camp risers. You're not going to want to miss this. All right, got offense and defense. Do we have any 400-pound squatters in here? No, I'm serious. I really want to know. Make sure you squat with the belt, all right? Coach Smith is hell no. All right, I'm still looking for my 400-pound squatter. Long time. Okay, so Larry Large, I think, is our closest. He said a long time ago, 575. Do we have anybody in the 4s? Going once, going twice. Okay. We got King's family. You know what? I follow Kings on Instagram, and this dude is putting the work in. I'm telling you, if you want some workout content, King's family, he's in the gym, man. Anointed Gaming said 505. Wow, man, that's impressive. Okay, so we have Anointed Gaming, who's number 1 on our list. Joe Crooms is saying 38 years ago. Man, my son can, but those are long. That's a long time ago. And Javian can leg press, but he can't squat it. All right. So, anyways, that's our freaks list. Those guys are just. It's 900 pounds. Are you kidding me? All right. Thought we had it on here. Let me make sure. All right, as always, our fall camp sponsor, been Sonic. I mean, these guys have been so good to us. I really appreciate it. I know, there's a certain someone out there that watches the show that, has helped me during the summer, has been a contributor, so I really appreciate you, man. And thank you very much to Sonic, our good friends out in West Memphis, Arkansas, Marion, Arkansas, where I-55 and I-40 hit, If you're cruising through, if you're driving a truck, if you're taking a vacation, I have no idea why you'd be cruising through I-55 and I-40, but you are. And stop off for a cheese coney. Tell them Kyle Henderson at Bama Football on YouTube sent you. All right, so I wanted to showcase, there's a couple camp risers. I'm starting to read more about Florida State, and I have seen social media, and I'm sure you guys have seen it too. People are clowning on Florida State. Like, there's some footage from practice that is going around. It's actually hilarious. I don't know if it's the starters or kind of the backups, but like receivers are dropping passes, defensive linemen are just like missing bags. They're, missing sleds. But, we see only kind of like those frames. And Florida State probably, has a chip on their shoulder coming into this game. Why wouldn't you? This is an opportunity for Florida State to kind of, pump their chest against one of the nation's best. And let's get it. Let's set the tone. I'm serious. Out of all the teams right now that people are talking about Alabama football. Really, like they're on the rise, and the expectations for this team year 2, we understand where those expectations are. Florida State, this is still a program that we're like, how many games you win this season? Tommy Castellanos is talking. We don't really like, Mike Norvell. So Florida State they're the underdog. I don't know if the point spread is up to 14 yet, but these guys are the underdog. So going into this game, yeah, are we confident? For sure, but it's on the road. Alabama didn't play well on the road last year. And honestly, I think Florida State is a team that, because they have so many new pieces to the puzzle, I don't know, But yeah, I think this is exactly it. Like, while it's great to be optimistic and, excited about where Alabama football fans is, I think it is kind of like a little bit of propaganda trying to get Alabama to, rat poison the game and start looking ahead to Georgia, start looking ahead to what could be, when in fact is like, just be here, be in August 4th, stay in this spot. Don't look at the rat poison, because if you eat the rat poison, Coach Saban told us a long time ago, you're done. All right. So 2 guys that I saw come out of Camp Risers, and War Chant has an amazing website. They cover Florida State like nobody else. Hey, Beersies, man, appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. He's saying like the damn chat. All right. Appreciate the super dog. On 100%, man. Thank you so much. But you got Earl Little Jr. And you know what? Thumbs up inside the comment box if you always, had an appreciation for Earl Little Jr. Honestly, I thought, and I'd be interested to see if he was still around, where he'd be at. I would imagine he'd be competing for that Husky spot right now, because it looks like you have a 3-horse race between Deshaun Jones, Dre Kirkpatrick Jr., and Cam Calhoun. Maybe if Earl Little stayed, they wouldn't have brought in Cam Calhoun. Now, with that said, Cam Calhoun's pretty good. I mean, really good. So, it equalizes out. But, man, I was excited about Earl Little. Honestly, I was. Like, I didn't see, I thought he would play. I thought he was pretty good. And I think he's going to be good for Florida State. So, they're really talking about him. He's now, I think he's a junior now, or a redshirt junior, something like that. So he's growing up. Well, I think he should be a very good player for Florida State. And some of those guys that went to Florida State, remember there was a handful of them. I think Sean Murphy, Malik Benson, I think each of those guys now left. Earl Little, Roydell Williams, right? I love Roydell Williams. That'll be their running back. I think he's very good. I think he's also at 220 pounds, which is crazy to believe, because how tall is he? Like 5'7", 5'8"? So they got some they got some components, and Elijah Moore is a receiver that they're really talking about. And he's 6'4", 206 pounds. They also have Squirrel White at wide receiver, who should be pretty good, right? He was at Tennessee, and then they also have Deuce Robinson, who's 6'6". So, those guys definitely have some height, some length. What's up, Dennis? I see you inside the comment box. Was he a receiver at Earl Little? Was a defensive back here at Bama, kind of somebody who could play in between, and then he went over to Florida State, and it looks like he's starting to kind of really come into his own. Yeah, and as Alabama Renegade did point out, Roydell Williams is expected to be their first team running back for the Seminoles. He's very good. I like Roydell Williams out of Hueytown. Great personality, man. Very, very good running back. Now, I think the running backs here are better, but I think Roydell Williams is very good. So you have to be ready for him for sure. So just a little bit of news out of Florida State. I'll start piping, little nuggets out of camp as we move closer to the game. But something like that just kind of stood out. As we get into fall camp for Alabama football, and coming up, I'm going to be talking about Camp Risers on offense, defense. They don't have practice today. It's media day. So we'll have, interviews that come in later on, but we'll hear from Coach Kane Womack here in a little bit. I'll showcase the second team offensive line and we'll go over 4 major takeaways from fall camp after 4 practices, right? It feels like they've been practicing for years, right? And coming up this next Saturday is the first scrimmage, all right? So here's the fall camp injury report. And, I saw the same thing that you guys did. Initially, I think it was Friday. The news was that Lazier Brooks was seen in a walking boot. So each of these guys, they're going to be fine, okay? In fact, Derek Meadows is probably like 90% right now. He has a hamstring apparatus on, which is common. We've seen this, right? And Lazier Brooks, he has a walking boot, but Coach Keelon DeBoer addressed this, I think, yesterday and quickly said that Lazier Brooks, it's nothing that's going to be an extended amount of time, that he'll be back. He didn't initially say like what it was. They don't have to. But they were each good reports. So after 4 days, look, guys are going to be nicked up, banged up. That's just how it is. It's 1,000,000 degrees. Actually, it's really nice today. Earlier this morning when I was outside, it was like 65 in Tuscaloosa. So really nothing to, really be worried about. We're at a really good point and, kind of trust in the process with Jeff Allen in the sports medicine and the guys who are in recovery, right? Or coming out of it, like a Deontay Lawson, who Coach Keelon DeBoer said he's trending upwards. In fact, I should probably put him on the board, although, he's probably 75, 80%. I don't know. Jalen Hell looks good to me. Cole Adams looks good to me. So really good update. Probably one of the underrated graphics we'll show today is this one right here. So I would say that these guys are as healthy as can be. Here's some camp risers on the offensive side, all right? Going through 4 practices, Coach Keelon DeBoer and Ryan Grubb, they have highlighted Dre Washington, all right? So Jalen came in as a transfer running back to a loaded running back room. Now, I have no idea how many reps he's going to get, where he is on the depth chart. I kind of feel that he's number 4 or like tied with 3 with Daniel Hill, depending on the packages, right? So Jam Miller, Richard Young, Daniel Hill, maybe some red zone or some goal line, or Jalen Washington on some third down situations. Somebody needs a blow from 1 or 2. I don't know, all right? So good to hear positive things about Jalen Washington. Now, he's a running back, if you don't know, 5'9", 224 pounds. So he's like a bowling ball, and he's got some speed, he's got some shake. Good addition to the running back room. He's a redshirt senior, so he does have experience. Thumbs up inside the comment box if you've heard some good things about Jalen Washington as well. Hey, Nick Bolin, good morning. There's some of our late additions. We got Hacker Music in. We got Dennis. What's up, man? We got LOL Squad. Good to see you, bro. Stephanie, good morning. Steven, Alfred, Shadow, what's up, man? Yeah, good to see you guys. So Jalen Washington kind of doing his thing early on, which I think is really good for the overall depth, right? The second player on our camp risers for offense is Jalen Mbakwe. This is very notable and something that has really stood out to me as well. On the small, clips or the team reporters that are at practice that showcase some of the footage, I have seen Jalen Mbakwe make a couple plays. And, Coach Keelon DeBoer yesterday during his press conference, he said that not so much in the spring. I think, because he had just switched over from defensive back to receiver. It was kind of like getting going with the wide receivers. But he said as of late, like fall camp, that Jalen Mbakwe has made a couple plays. Look, there's been like 1 day at pads, right? But he said that he has made some plays that stood out, which I think is so positive. And I think, you come into a receiver room where you have 3 starters already. You have Rico Scott, you have Jalen Hell, you have Cole Adams. All those guys have played pretty good amount of time. Jalen Mbakwe has not played at all in the wide receiver position yet, like in an actual game. So this is really good for the depth of the team. I've also heard good things about Avery Hampton, who has a brace on his leg. So really positive to hear Jalen Mbakwe making plays. I mean, who knows? Because this guy, the talent that this guy has, like the overall athleticism is extraordinary. This is a 5-star. So It might take a little bit of time, but maybe it seems like he's rising according to Coach Keelon Russell, which I thought was a really good update yesterday. I'd like to put another name on the tight end list. I think initially when practice started after the first day, we were quick to talk about Marshall Pritchett, and rightfully so. And as you start to learn more about the tight end room, you have Josh Cuevas, you have Danny Lewis coming back, you have 2 transfer tight ends that came in, right? Brody Dalton, Jackson Marco. But you're like, who else? Like the freshmen are here as well. You have Jay Lindsey, right? He's been here. This is his second year, but Marshall Pritchett stood out. He was my first day MVP. That's how much he stood out to me. But Caleb Edwards, this guy right here, man, he's much better than I thought he would be. 6'6", 265, and he can move and he can catch. I'm telling you. Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys again. Have you heard good things about Caleb Edwards on the sites you read, the YouTube channels you watch, the things you hear? This guy's good, man. Yeah, got the glasses, looks a little scholarly. So this is our offensive camp risers. Big man, for sure. In our 4th camp riser on the right is Gino Vandermark. Gino Vandermark is called the Swiss Army knife of the offensive line. I'm going to talk about the second team offensive line, just some names that have been repping with the second teams. But Gino Vandermark, he could either start at left guard, he could start at right guard, and he's the second team center. So he can play all those positions. In fact, when Parker Brailsford, I think this was on Friday, earned his degree from the University of Alabama, him and Danny Lewis did. By the way, congratulations to those guys. It was Gino Vandermark that was repping at the first team center position. So, right? So that's your real second team center, in my opinion, is Gino Vandermark after Parker Brailsford. But what you'll see in a minute when I show you the second team offensive line from yesterday, you'll start to see some names that are competing for that second team offensive line. And I don't believe that the second team offensive line is solidified at all. I think that it's competition, right? So anyways, congratulations to these guys for continuing to grind and showing, kind of what it takes to do the first 4 practices. But can you maintain it? Can you continue to elevate? Can you continue to climb the depth chart? Can you be patient enough? And can you fight yourself from the entitlement of like, hey, this coming Saturday, I didn't play. I didn't get the ball thrown to me. Coach doesn't like me. Ty Simpson didn't throw the ball to me. He don't like me, right? Keelon Russell, Austin Mack, they didn't throw to me. They don't like me. No. It's like that wasn't your time. Stay patient. Show up early. Stay late. Keep working, right? Don't get discouraged. Your time will come, and if you're on the depth chart a little bit lower, it's okay. That is not a bad thing. You are at the University of Alabama. If you are 5th, 6th on this roster at the University of Alabama, that is impressive. Don't fight off the entitlement in the poor me's. Camp risers on the defensive side. I got 5 of them. We'll start on the left. There's a lot of guys on defense that I think are making waves. And I continue to say this. The 2 deep on defense, I'm very confident in. Very confident. But I'll start with James Smith. I think it's touchdown Alabama. They have some footage of James Smith. Did you see this? He picks up the sled. He was pushing a sled, right? He picks it up and he just throws it into I've been a huge fan of him. Tons of athleticism, super strength. I think he'll pair well, on the D line and be somebody who's athletic that can stop the run. Yeah, just see, Coach Smith is with me, man. I'm telling you, James Smith is good. He's very, very talented. And next up, you know what? Kelby Collins, on the footage that you watch Kelby Collins, number 17. It seemed like he's he's a transfer that came in from Florida. And I don't know, he didn't really stand out to me, I guess, in the springtime. I didn't really see anything that was I don't know. I thought he was kind of getting lost in the shuffle, but it seems like he worked on his body, and he looks pretty nimble. So Kelby Collins is a name to know. Number 17. Write that down. Just let's continue to watch how this plays out. Also on the list is Noah Carter. Now, Coach DeBoer was asked about Noah Carter specifically yesterday, and he had some really good things to say. He said, you know, you see more maturity from a second-year player, and he was quick to note that that doesn't mean he was immature as a freshman. It's just as you grow and as you work through development, you become more mature. You're able to understand a little bit more. I mean, 6'4", 243 pounds. Look, this is another guy that is a little bit lower on the depth chart, but look at the guys that are in the room. Quay Rusa, right? Ja Latham, Yanzi Pierre. Imagine being a young guy, and if you've ever played sports, and if you've ever been like, you know, a sophomore, and you've played with some, you know, juniors and seniors that are dogs, like you learn so much from them. You learn how to be violent if you're on defense. You understand what it takes, the discipline. You understand the speed that you have to play at, right? The iron is sharpening iron. So good to hear positive update on Noah Carter. We also got the two players on the far right. You got Drake Kirkpatrick and Cam Calhoun. Now, let's start with Drake Kirkpatrick. I mean, I've seen small footage of him. He is playing fast. He's playing aggressive. Man, I think, you know, his dad is a little bit taller. But I think Dre, have you guys seen some stuff on Drake Kirkpatrick out there? I'm telling you, man, I don't know if he's going to start at Husky. I don't really care. He's going to play. And he's going to be really good. He's already good. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like, you know, the stuff out of Florida State right now with Earl Little. He be competing against those guys, and I don't know if he's better than Dre or Cam, or they're kind of equalized. Cam Calhoun, very talented. He's a transfer that came over here from Utah, and he's listed as a corner but can also play Husky. I think you can kind of move Cam all over the place. Very solid player. And I think the position for Husky is still up for grabs right now in terms of a position battle between Dre, Deshaun, and Cam Calhoun. But anyways, congratulations to these players for being early camp risers, but we have to continue to see it, you know, throughout the season. Ronnie, what's up, man? Good to see you. Good morning to you. Appreciate you being here. Jeremy Davis, what's up, bro? He says that Dre Jr. is more physical than his pops. He's very violent, man. Good to see you, Ronnie. Next up, let's talk about the second team offensive line as of yesterday. Now, I have to preference this and say this is not the second team offensive line. It's not. These are players that were just rotating in the second team yesterday, okay? But is this the official second team? No, it is not, okay? Let me just go over some of these players who are competing for second team or might even be first team. Like Jaden Roberts is 100% first team, but he was rotating with second team. I have no idea. Maybe Kapilovic wanted a leader within the second team. Maybe he wants competition. I have no idea. But he is not a second team player. He's first team. But these are some guys that are competing. So you got Jackson Lloyd, all right, came in, ultra talented. I mean, you had two incredible offensive linemen. You have Jackson Lloyd and you have Michael Carroll. I think those guys are competing to be in the second team, right? They can play tackle. I think Carroll could probably play guard if he needed to. But Jackson Lloyd's a monster, man. 6'7", 315 pounds. Put this guy on your sleeper watch. You got William Sanders, a name that I really haven't heard about. And I haven't heard like a name like even like a Rock Montgomery either, to be honest. But this is the first time I saw William Sanders getting some reps at the guard position. You have Joseph Ionita at center. If I had to say, he's probably the third team center. I think Parker Brailsford, Gino Vandermark, and then Joseph Ionita. Jaden Roberts was repping with the second team. I don't buy too much into this. It was just probably they wanted to see maybe how Gino and Cam are working together with the offensive line. You need depth. Like, you need so much quality depth this year. And then Olas Alanen at tackle, 6'6", 322. So, and again, there's a lot of offensive linemen that aren't pictured on this. I wouldn't read into that much, like, oh, these guys aren't performing. It's just like this was, what the reporters saw yesterday. All right. All right, so you have 4 takeaways, all right? The 4 main takeaways. And you got Rico Scott, right? 23.5 miles an hour. And these are 4 takeaways after 4 practices. So you got Rico Scott. That certainly, right? Like, wasn't this one of the bigger storylines? Like, something, like, these are things that really, like, make my ears perk up when I think about the team. Farty's like, Kyle's been uploading 7 times per day. Dude, yeah, 100%. Yesterday was just really 3 uploads. But, man, this is Alabama football. There's not an official, there's not like an NFL team here. Like, this is what I do for a living. And, you could watch 1 video, 2. I mean, you could watch. I think there's 40 Alabama YouTube channels that currently exist. I just stay in my lane. I upload when I need to. I upload as news happens, and I just stay in my lane. That's it. But 4 takeaways for me is like, damn, Rico Scott, 23.5 miles an hour. Someone said Rico Suave. Hey, Southern Red, good morning. I said keep your head on the swivel. You'll be getting an email from me this morning, you and Joe Crooms. 23.5 miles. Look, is he going to be wide receiver 4 or 5? Who knows? Who cares? Alabama needs the depth, right? Like, they need elite talent throughout hopefully a 16-game season. I'm not mad at it. Gino Vandermark, as mentioned, kind of the Swiss Army knife that can play, left guard, center, or right guard. He's so important, man. This guy, such an important piece to this season. Love to see it. The Wolf position is absolutely stellar, is absolutely elite. This guy is Quay Rusa. He's incredible. I hope he can continue to play at this high of a level throughout the entire season. Monster, monster, monster. And then I think probably if you zoom out and you look at the quarterback position, you're like, well, why hasn't Alabama named a starter? Because it's called competition. They've already told you. They have told you that they want to see consistency from the quarterback every single day. Okay? Every single day. There's no entitlement here. While Ty would start on Saturday, we're about to learn a lot on Saturday when they have a scrimmage. How do you do, in a 2-minute drive? How do you do goal line formation? How do you do in the red zone? How do you do when you've thrown an interception? Do you get your helmet and you slam it on the ground, or do you pop right back in? Right? So that's why no quarterback has been named. And look, Ryan Grubb said he wished that they already had a quarterback that, was the guy, but this is a competition, so welcome to it. And we're going to talk about all of the quarterbacks. We're going to point out what we see from the footage that we're able to obtain. And that's just it. And at the end of the day, they make the call, and we roll with that quarterback. I would advise you to encourage the quarterbacks, not to get divided among the quarterbacks, right? All right, I'm going to take a 1-second break. It'll be like 20 seconds. And then I'll come back with Coach Kane Womack, and we'll dive into Alabama's defensive coordinator who just spoke to the media. Don't go anywhere. Be right back right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Let's see how many roll tides we can get inside the comment box within 1 minute, 2 minutes. Now is your perfect time to subscribe to Bama Football on YouTube. 114,000 subscribers worldwide. From Thailand to New Jersey to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee
Bama football news happens, we got you covered right here on Bama Football on YouTube.
We'll be right back.
Have you gotten into the raffle? On Wednesday, we will spin the pinwheel for 2 tickets to Alabama versus Wisconsin. A total prize value of $543. $25 to enter. Venmo Bama_YouTube. Venmo. Cash App Bama YouTube.
That's so stupid. All right. Kane Womack. All right. How we feeling about Kane Womack? Before I play his press conference from, I think this was Friday. How do you guys feel about Kane Womack? Give me a scale of like 1 to 10. How you feeling about Kane Womack? What is your, I guess, level of, how should I word this? Like, are you supporting this guy going into year 2? You're excited about him? You feel he's the guy for the job? This is a guy, a man who restructured Alabama's entire defense. That takes some stones to do because the defensive coordinator prior to him was Coach Saban. It's like he came in and changed the defense. This is his defense. So, I think it took us a little bit of time to kind of get comfortable with Kane Womack, right? But towards the end of the season, especially against the Michigan game, he had the defense playing at a very high level. So this is how this works. If you've never seen this before, I play the interview, and you can't hear the reporter's questions. So I'll make sure that you understand what he's talking about before I play it. Then I'll pause it, and I'll give you a little bit of my analysis, and then we'll go back and forth, okay? So just stay patient. I'll make sure that you can hear everything. And we start with Coach Kane Womack from this weekend, and it's Friday or Saturday.
Coach, can you talk about what you've seen from that Wolf linebacker room and just comment on young players like a Justice Hill or older player like a Jamarian Lathan? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
Can you talk about the Wolf position, some older players like John Latham? Can you talk about Justin Hill? Just like we were talking about, we said the Wolf position is incredible. Here's Kane Womack talking about the Wolf position.
I think that that room, Christian Robinson does a great job with those guys, the details. It's a really versatile position, takes a number of different things that, from a pass rush standpoint, from a run fit standpoint. And then we ask those guys to do a lot of things from a coverage aspect as well. And I think, when you have some older guys that are now more comfortable in year 2 in this defense, they're able to start playing the game with a little more anticipation, with some offensive recognition, and then obviously that leads to production.
How close to 100% is Keon Sabb at this point? What sort of
Yeah, Keon's doing a really good job. He has really pushed. Our training staff's done a great job with him. I think, he's ahead of really every marker that we had in the offseason for him. And we weren't sure, if he was going to be able to go to the level that he's going right now at the beginning of fall camp. And but he is, and he's here. I don't know if I could put a number on it exactly, but, I mean, he's out there, playing with our guys. And so he's comfortable enough to be able to do that. Sometimes those injuries, right, you just got to build a callus, right, of coming back. And I think that's something that he's really pushing himself right now to get ready for the season.
What do you want to see from the Husky position this game?
What do you want to see from the Husky position going into fall camp as we move forward?
Yeah. Well, obviously, you got a couple of guys over there that are fighting and battling right now. I think our depth in the secondary, which is a lot better than where it was a year ago, allows us to try a number of different guys out there. That is a very versatile position. It's similar to the Wolf in all the things that we ask that position to do, and yet at the same time very different. But that guy's got to be able to fit the run. He's got to be able to play man. He's got to be able to play zone coverage and blitz off the edge and all that stuff. So, consistent execution is critical. That player can really eliminate part of the field if they do their job in terms of perimeter blocking and teams that try to throw perimeter screens out there. If you got a Husky that can take take the field space away, I think we've got a number of guys that seem to be doing a really good job right now. So pleased with where those guys are going, and I really like the competition in the room.
So with this, I thought this was a really important soundbite, talking about that Husky, right? Because we know that the corners, you got Damani Jackson, you got Xavier Brown, wherever Dejon Lee falls in that room, they moved Red Morgan from that Husky position to now corner. But the corner position, I think, will be elevated this year. Last year, look, I loved Devontae Smith. I really did. But I thought, he's probably – I think that the guys competing for the job right now, Deshaun Jones, Cam Calhoun, and Dre Kirkpatrick, I think those guys are better talent-wise this year than what we had last year with Devontae Smith and Red Morgan. Do you guys agree with that? So what I'm saying is this year's Husky competition is better than the starter last year. And I think that will complement the defensive secondary very well because, we love our safeties. We love Bray. We love Keon Sabb. In fact, he just talked about Keon Sabb and said that he's, a little bit ahead of where he needs to be. You also have Zay Mincy in there. So now that you have a Husky, that's really the only position that we're watching because we don't know, who's coming back because your starter left. But I think we're in a really good position at that Husky position. We continue with Mack.
What's kind of the, knowledge difference in terms of taking an outside corner?
Yeah, that's a great question. There are similarities to an outside corner and
talking about outside corner, I couldn't really hear the question either.
And a Husky, a nickel, and yet at the same time, when you're playing in that slot portion of the field, it really is a different position. And so fundamentally, there's a lot of carryover, but schematically, there's a lot of difference in what we're asking him to do. And there were things that we started Cam on this, really towards the end of spring, and then got him involved in the summertime. And then, those guys have done a really good job, Mo and Jason Jones, kind of working him back and forth in both rooms so that he is available to play at corner and also at the nickel position. But like what I see from him so far.
How many defensive backs would you like to maybe have in the rotation this season, just because you've obviously shown a willingness to use multiple?
Yeah.
How many defensive backs would you like to see in the rotation this year?
It's a good question, and I'm not trying to skirt it, but I'll use as many that are ready to go, that we trust. And I think, if you think about the scope of trust, it is, okay, if these are the top 5 players in our defense from a defensive back standpoint, who can play to the same level that starter can, right? And if that backup guy can play to the same level that the starter can, then he deserves to be on the field. And so I think, we've got positions where, I think we have multiple starters, for maybe one position or guys that we will rotate consistently. I don't know if I could put a number on it right now, but, a year ago, going into the Tennessee game when we had 5 guys that went down, we only played 6 guys for 5 positions primarily when it mattered, and I think we could play significantly more than that.
With the younger guys.
I think what he was saying right there, without exactly saying it, is that Dejon Lee could be a starter, that Xavier Brown is a starter, that Damani Jackson is a starter, and as long as those guys can play like starters, they're going to rotate those guys, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, think about some of the matchups that I just mentioned at the beginning of the show. When you start to look at Florida's wide receivers, I mean, they're bigger wide receivers. Elijah Moore is 6'4", right? That's a matchup for Dejon Lee, or Deuce Robinson, who's 6'6", right? Look, the last thing you want to do let's say Florida State somehow gets into the red zone, okay? You have Xavier Brown versus in Florida State. You have Gus Malzahn, who is not a bad offensive coordinator, okay? Let's say somehow you get Deuce Robinson out there and he finds Xavier Brown. Xavier Brown's what, 6'1"? 6'6" to 6'1". I don't like that matchup. I don't know what Tommy Castellanos can do in terms of accuracy, but, I like my shot if I have Dejon Lee out there against a Deuce Robinson. So maybe it might be, schematic football. And looking at kind of matchups. Maybe that's kind of how to read into it, which is a good thing.
That you maybe haven't seen in pads as much. How much can your perception of them change
starting tomorrow when y'all go live contact as opposed to just working in shells?
Yeah.
How much does live contact differ from just being in shells?
Yeah. Well, anytime we go live, we tell our guys all the time, right? Live work is the closest thing we can do to simulate a game-like scenario to you, right? And so I put a premium on that, right? How they play, how they respond, how they produce in that moment, I think is the closest indicator we can give them to what they're going to do on game day. And so, you see it all the time, right? Freshmen win jobs, they win responsibilities, they win playing time through fall camp. And then, some guys, right, they continue to maybe be on a path that they're not ready to go the first game, but as we go through the season, right, they're going to be ready to do more and more as we go. Jeremiah Beeman was a great example of that last year. He really, didn't play for us at all at the beginning of the season, and then in the bowl game he had a significant role for us. So you just try to keep those guys pushing one day at a time, and you can't hold them to the same standard that you would, maybe Deontay Lawson or Tim Keenan.
What are the challenges of scouting an opponent like Florida State when there's so much new coaching staff and roster-wise?
Yeah.
What is the challenges of scouting a team like Florida State because they have so many new guys coming in? I think that's a hell of a question. And one of the things that we're not necessarily looking at when we look to kind of the lines of the game, right? We know it's on the road. We know Florida State was absolutely trash last year. We know that they had a trash quarterback. Like, there was a lot of things that we didn't like about Florida State. This is not the same Florida State team, right? They have a ton of transfers coming in. They have a new quarterback. They have a new offensive coordinator. There's a lot of, I think if you're a Florida State fan, you're more optimistic going in the season. You understand that a buzzsaw is coming into town, but you're like, there's a lot of new pieces, so careful with the rat poison. Here's Mack talking about the challenges of scouting a team that has a ton of new players.
When you have a team, when you're preparing for an offensive coordinator that just took over a job, maybe a new quarterback, some new personnel things, you try to gather a whole picture, right? What did the quarterback do at his previous institution, right? And how was he used maybe under this staff or that staff, or, I've known Gus since I was in the 8th grade. I mean, I played for him, and his the evolution of his offense and the things that he's done. What might he do based off of this personnel? And so, when you're looking at all those things, right, you're trying to kind of gauge what you anticipate they're going to be. And then at the same time, that you've got to have answers if they kind of go down this pathway or they go down that pathway. And so, naturally you're going to carry a pretty heavy catalog of defense, going into a game.
What do you remember about him as an 8th grader?
What do you remember about Gus Malzahn as an 8th grader?
Well, so I was at Fayetteville High School, and Gus was the head coach at Springdale High School. So you had Fayetteville Purple Dogs and the Springdale Red Dogs, and so we, went up against each other. But my dad and Gus have been really close for years, and so that I kind of knew him through that connection. And then he coached me he was our offensive coordinator at Arkansas my sophomore year there. Well, Gus is relentless in the details. He does a really great job. From just constantly, holding people accountable to the details. He had great teams at Springdale High School when he was the head coach back then. I just remember how disciplined those football teams were and how hard they were to beat, because I really think, those players took on and embodied the personality of their head coach, right? And if you look at his career, I think there's that's a point that you can continue to kind of acknowledge, right? The discipline that his guys play with and the physicality they play with, and then, simply the tempo that they play with. They've always done a great job of that.
What do you think about the depth at Bandit behind a guy like LT?
What do you think about the depth behind the Bandit position behind LT Overton? This is another good soundbite.
Yeah, I'm excited about some of the guys that are working in that position right now. Obviously, Keon Keeley and Jordan Renaud are getting a bit of the reps there. both of them. It's fun to watch, right, their evolution and their growth over the last 18 months. I think both of them have taken huge strides and big steps towards being able to contribute for us, and so really excited about what those guys can do. And then you've got, some other guys that just got here in Cavante Henry that wasn't able to go through spring ball, and so looking forward to kind of seeing what he can do as well. And then what's nice, right, is that you have older guys. The Bandit and the Wolf position, they're different in some ways, but there is enough similarity that there's some crossover work, and so we start to kind of do some of those things as well, just so that we can create enough depth, be it a certain personnel package or just making sure that we have the depth to carry through a long season.
I was thinking about this. I was like, okay, so right now the Bandits that I have LT Overton, clearly the starter. I have Keon Keeley. You have Jordan Renaud. Each of those guys, I think, equally ready to get on the field. And then I was thinking what he just said right there is some other guys that can cross over. I was thinking, does anybody remember who was a Bandit last year that got moved to the Wolf position? I was thinking that could be Ja Latham. And he said depending on packages, right? Because Ja Latham is still like 265, probably a little bit too light, but maybe he's quick enough, depending on like a formation to where he goes in as a Bandit. I don't know. I go back to that Wolf position, and I honestly feel that the second team Wolf after Quay will be Yanze Pierre. I saw that. So, I don't know. That stood out to me. I think this is the last question from it. Floating around different positions.
That's something as a coordinator, right? Last year was my first time
floating around positions as the defensive coordinator. So meaning he can go watch the DBs, he can watch the inside linebackers, he can go around during practice.
Is really a walk-around coordinator. Chuck Morrell was, didn't necessarily have the title, but was coaching the linebackers last season, and so. It reminds me, right, of my 3 years of being a head coach, right? Because, you're able to kind of, based on what you think you're emphasizing that day in practice, or whether you think there's a certain need or a certain scheme that we're going to really, point out, you can kind of go and kind of hone in on that position, right? Or if there's an issue, right, and somebody needs to get better, you can give that the attention it needs. And so, it's something that I think I would want to do moving forward, right? As a coordinator, I think when you're able to have somebody that is calling plays that can watch and evaluate the players at 30,000 feet and can also hone right into a specific drill that is going to be really important for something you're going to do schematically that week. A lot of versatility that for me as a coach, as opposed to just kind of hunkering down on one position.
All right, that was Kane Womack. The first chance that we got to hear from him after 4 days of fall camp. I'll be right back with some camp coverage, practice highlights from this weekend. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back right here on Bama Football on YouTube. All right, fam, we're back right here on Bama Football on YouTube. We're going to look at some footage from this past weekend. Is this real? You said that we are classmates in high school? Are you serious? All right, where we go to high school? That's your trivia question. That's what's up, man. Good to see you. Thanks for being here, man. You guys missed the commercials? Oh, that's hilarious. All right. Before we get moving, you got game tickets we're giving away. We will spin the pinwheel come hell or high water. Win 2 tickets to Alabama's second home game versus Wisconsin. Resale price of $543. Section E row 61, September 13th. I send the tickets the day before to you. How to get into the raffle, very easy to do, and I've gotten several this morning. You have Venmo, Bama_YouTube, Cash App, Bama YouTube. All right. Appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you so much. All right, we'll start out the footage with the running back room. Oh, I see, dog. All right, fam. We need to see the high school picture. Have you guys seen my high school highlight tapes? Maybe one of those days we'll bust them out. Kyle Banks, what's up, dog? Let me know if you want to see the high school highlight tapes, and I'll play them at the end of the show. All right, so starting out with, Super Chats will get you in, Dennis, as well. That's one thing that I should mention. So Super Chats will also get you into the raffle. Leading off with the running backs, right? You got Jam Miller right here, and you got Robert Gillespie to the right of him. The running back room is fantastic. What would you say right now on a scale of like 1 to 10 that your excitement is about the running back rooms? You high right now on the running back rooms? Right? On the running back room? Jam Miller beast. It's hard to believe that this guy is 220 pounds. And so is this guy. This is Jalen Washington right here, right? Each of these guys, 220 pounds, and then you got Daniel Hill, who is like 240, all right? Working on some blocking drills for the running backs. Jam Miller followed by Richard Young. Here's Daniel Hill. Quality running backs. Daniel Hill doing it. Let's see what else we got. Jalen Washington. Oh, Ryan's in here with the 435 squatter. That's what's up, man. Welcome to the show. This is Kevin Riley. And A.K. Deer, your freshman, right? You have some other walk-ons here. Now we're getting some footage of the. Oh, this is our walk-on, right? Cherwin. This dude's in all of these highlight tapes. If you've seen, my video yesterday, Cherwin is a walk-on. You're gonna see he's gonna make 6 catches in this film. All right, that was Ty Simpson getting the ball out. You have Ty Simpson airing it out right here that is Rico Suave Scott. And we also got another super chat in from John Shannon. Sean, what's up, dog? Appreciate you, man. Rico Suave. Rico. All right, that is Keelon Russell across the middle of the field to Jalen Hill. All 3 quarterbacks. Damn, Ty. That's a nice, man, that's a laser right there. Let's watch that again. Ty Simpson back to pass. Finds Jalen Mbakwe. Mbakwe across the middle of the field. The 40, the 30. Austin Mack finding Cherwick. See, Keelon Russell to Hell to Rico Suave. All right, more footage of the quarterbacks. It's a nice little pass outside. Cherwick, our walk-on, number 23. And we got this is Kelby. So look, that's why I was telling you in the beginning. Watch Kelby Collins. Oh, he looks good and he looks slimmed down for sure. You got Isaiah Vega, right? Is your freshman who just got here, defensive lineman. Steven Bua just got here, another guy in development. These guys are looking good, man. I like the defensive line. I really do. Byron's in the. Does that mean you're in the Ty Simpson fan club? That's what's up, dog. Who do you think, like, when you're watching D-line or you're watching, like, the Wolf, who do you think, like, really, like, is one of the guys that has a breakout that really comes with it? Is there somebody, like, on your mind? This is Keon Keeley right here, number 31. Remember, he put on 30 pounds? So now he's, like, at 273? Some footage of the offensive line right here. Number 77, I think that's... Let's see. 75, this is Wilcom Formby right here to the outside. Number 64 right here, this is Michael Carroll. More footage of the offensive lineman. 77 right here. The guard position, Jaden Roberts. I think this is our boy Rock Montgomery, 55, right? All right, Max Tooney looking for Beeman to have a good year. There's tight ends, your boy Marshall Pritchett. We come back to the wide receiver footage. I showed this yesterday on a YouTube short. Ryan Williams just making a ridiculous catch, right? Man, like the body control is absolutely out of this world. Rico Scott right there going up to get it. Jeremy Bernard. Cole Adams. The wide receivers looking crisp, man. It's easy on the eyes, right? Nice catch right there by Avery Hampton, Bubba Hampton. Number one, that is, man, you know, Isaiah, I'm telling you, man, Isaiah Horton looks super, super smooth. I get it. It's just against air, but it is what it is. I mean, this is what the practice we're looking at, all right? Ryan Williams, turn it up. One more time, go get it. Horton. Cole Adams look 100% healthy to me. There's our boy Jalen Mbakwe. Yeah. So good footage that came in. Yeah. That's that's where we're at. So yeah, that's a show today. Oh, did you guys have a good show? Remember, today is media day, so if any interviews pop up, I'll bring them here later on today. We'll probably do a nightcap. Is there anyone out there mad about the multiple uploads? It's like, dog, we've been doing multiple uploads, since 2000, whatever. There's a lot to come for. That's why it's important to hit the subscribe. That's a good point. With all the videos being posted, you don't want to miss any videos. So hit the subscribe button and make sure you click all notifications so you get all the videos that I upload, because there's a variety of videos. And it's important to know this, all right? YouTube only sends out 3 subscriptions. So you might if you missed videos, you're like, man, I didn't get it. We might have already posted videos. So that's why it's always important to keep your heads on a swivel. And when like news happens, dog, I got you. You know what I'm saying? All right, look, this is our Facebook channel as well. Check it out. Is there anybody that has any interest to see the highlight tape? Because we mentioned it earlier. Does anybody want to see Kyle Henderson in high school? I'll give you guys 2 seconds. We get 5 thumbs up. I show it. Remember, before we bounce out, you got the raffle taking place. $25 to get in. Ticket value of $543 for Alabama versus Wisconsin. That's for 2 tickets. Super chats work. Best way to get in. Super chats. Bama_YouTube, Cash App Bama YouTube, and I know somebody asked me about Zelle. I'll still look into it as well. All right. Daniel, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Anna's saying yes. Alabama Renegade. All right, you guys want to watch the tape? All right. Okay. Give me 2 seconds. I'll come bring it up on the other side. One second.
Did you know Bama football on YouTube can be streamed on your big stream TV?
Oh my goodness. I want you guys to rate the highlights on the back end, all right? Let me try to find them. Oh man, found them right away. All right, let's see if I can do this. All right. All right, incoming in 2 seconds. All right, look, this is not black and white. All right, this is not black and white footage. We actually had color back then. All right, So this is 2001. I made this highlight tape. Remember, does anybody even know what VHS tapes are? All right, so VHS tapes were basically tapes, so kind of like a little bit bigger than 8 tracks. And you used to have 2 tapes that you would put in, one to play, one to record. All right. So, all right, let's do this. All right, all right, go easy on me. All right, and go easy on me, but here we go. All right. I go full screen. All right, be easy on me, fam. Don't be mean. All right, roll the tape. Kyle Henderson, Bama football on YouTube, 2001. Let's see what we got. All right, got a kickoff return. Uh-oh, is it your boy, Kyle Henderson? Oh, okay, don't do him. Don't do him dirty. Get to the outside. Run, young man, make a miss. Ah, get the block, take it to the hizzy. Yes, all right, hit him with the high step. Yo, a little kick return for you. All right, let's go on the defensive side of the ball. Pass, underthrown. Don't worry, your boy at safety's got you covered with the pick. All right, now wide receiver, outside. Big time game, inter-city rivalry. Go get it, Kyle. All right, look at this one. You're going to love this one. Caught this one with my pinkies. Outside coverage. Thank you. How about this one? Come on, go get it. In the end zone. Game on the line. Kyle Henderson, touchdown. Let's do it, dog. How about this one? Give him across the middle. Slant. Make a miss. Turn it upside. Get a block from a tight end. Does he have enough to get to the outside? Yes, let's go. Okay. All right, quarterback back to pass. Saturday game. Hit him with the seam route. Can he get in the end zone? Oh, come on. Come on now. Get in there. All right, let's see what else you got. Big time game. This is the playoffs. I was behind the defense, of course. Come back, right in the bread basket. Got you some. Light work right here, a little Z out. All right. You guys feeling it? Little slant across the middle, light work. Touchdown. Look, this is what you do. Put the ball on the turf, get back to the huddle. All right, how about this one? Look at my quarterback. This is the playoffs. Big time game right here. Man. Little out route right here. Come on now. Make a miss. Get upfield. Yep. Keep the chains moving. All right, playoffs again. Pump fake. Up and out. Go get it, Kyle. Yeah, let's go. Come on. All right, up in the mud. Go catch this. Come on. Lay out for it. You got it. Damn, man. Get to the outside. Go get it. Dive. Touchdown. Hell yeah. Get to the outside. Make a miss. I think that was like my... So this is it, man. Touchdown. Oh, man. So that was it. Yep. So that was 6-man football, dog. 6-man football. Oh, man. You guys are great. So, you know, I covered, and before this, I covered high school football for 12 years in New Mexico. I just, I always had a passion for football. And then it, translated into covering the Colorado Buffaloes, and then it turned into covering the Alabama Crimson Tide, thankfully, So been doing this now. This is my 10th season covering the team. And, it's been a brick by brick process building the YouTube channel. And I've always had to kind of adapt, You guys have known my story. I've been with Rivals, was briefly with On3, and now I'm just by myself and doing the best job that I can to support my family. So I really appreciate you guys every single day. The last couple years have been tough. It's been a battle, but I pray before each show that I can come on here and perform to the highest level, that I can give you guys, the energy that you deserve. And I'm working with what I got. And that's it, man. I stay in my lane, and I understand the bigger that the channel gets, the more that the haters come on and stuff like that. That's okay. Like, I am grateful for the opportunities that I have in my life, and I'm just riding God's plan. And sometimes riding God's plan is uncomfortable because you can't see it, right? So that's kind of where I'm at in my life, and I appreciate you guys rocking with me each and every day. So as news comes in, kick it with your boy Kyle. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Thank you so much. I'm beyond grateful for you guys being here on the channel. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a peaceful day. Stay blessed. Stay where your feet are at. I love you very much. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on this Monday, August 4th, Kyle Henderson, a Bama football on YouTube. Love you, fam.
Did you know that Bama football on YouTube is run by Kyle Henderson? He lives in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, but he's from, surprise, New Mexico.
All right, dog. I love you. Coming to you from 35406, Kyle Henderson, Bama football on YouTube. Roll down Tide. See you, fam.